That sound means you're back on the air with the Restaurant Brokers, and this is our Restaurant Reality segment. Today's show has been focusing on a trade event held in the Atlanta market every year, and that's just one of dozens of shows held across the country. Eric, what are some others?
You're right. There's so many shows held around the country. The big one, obviously, is the National Restaurant Association event that is held every spring in Chicago. There's also so many regional events like the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Show, and then those focus on multi-unit operators like the Multi-Unit Food Service Operators Conference, which is held in Dallas each October and has been in existence for 55 years. Reality is that if you operate a restaurant in this country, there's opportunities virtually a few hours from your location where shows like this are being held each and every year.
Okay, so the shows are out there. As an operator or a would-be restaurateur, then this is the reality. You may be wondering if it's worth the investment in your time and money, and the answer is an unprecedented yes. I mean, you get exposures to new suppliers, new food preparation methods. You interact with other chefs, people in the industry. There's also just this energy on a show floor that just can't be duplicated in any other environment. It's a time to trade ideas and share information and get better at what you're doing. Do you agree, Eric?
You're right, and you're so much information there. I mean, one of the things that people don't realize, Inland Seafood's a very large company, so there's quality, but they bring everything to you. There was wineries out there that are operated by a husband and wife, a team of two that have very small production. So if you are a small restaurant and you want something more in line with your belief, what your concept is, you can have access to a winery, literally a mom and pop winery, or you can have the big wineries out there, the Mondavis of the world that have that, but they may have some special bottles and things like that. It's a great way. So if you don't have a sommelier, you're a small restaurant without a sommelier, that was a great place to be, taste some wines, and even throw some food from inland in there to make a winning combination.
Well, and what I thought was great is, particularly for the wine part of the show, everybody who attended got a wonderful book, and it shared so much information about each one of the wines, and as you tasted it, you would write down your own tips. So if you're out there saying, I don't have a training budget, I don't have a trainer, I don't have a this, we've told you again and again and again, it takes 3 or 4 minutes a day to train. So just take 3 or 4 tidbits from a show like this, and you've just developed your training program. And how much more wine will you sell if your staff knows that bottle, knows the provenance of where and how it's being created, and can throw out some terms about it that make it exciting? They paint the picture with their words, and then that experience is delivered to the table.
Yeah, and it was not only wine; it was spirits. I mean, we saw a lot of new organic spirits. We saw liqueurs. I was fortunate to taste. One of our clients happened to be at the show and came and grabbed me and said, "You have to taste this." As you know, I have a little French background, so there was some French liqueur that tastes like it was like pineapple or grapefruit, and it was literally like taking a slice of grapefruit out in your mouth. That liquor was so good and so tasty. So you start building with unique things like that you didn't see anywhere else. What can you do with this to make a unique cocktail or something unique in your food, and to use these liqueurs to make it a unique differentiator from your competition out on the street? Well,
and sometimes it's just the act of attending as what tells you to break the mold, because most of the time it's just getting outside your restaurant and understanding that it's time to make a difference. So it really can be a game changer for an operator, because it's not just food changes you hear about. What about technology platforms and idea for efficiency and other business ideas? I mean, we were at the National Restaurant Association show, and they were showing ovens that literally you put a flashcard drive into the oven, and once it gets the feed from the POS and knows what's going to be served, then it actually cooks the food perfectly to temperature, and someone just takes it out. I mean, there's so much information you can get here.
I mean, we see everything from what Robin talked about at some different shows. We went to the Florida show where they had a pizza dough extender that actually you don't have to pay a specialist, and somebody tosses the pizza out in the air in your restaurant, and a dough maker, and you can have it extended there on the machine. So it saves you some cost, and that machine, unless it breaks, is going to be there every day on time when you need it. So there's so many different inspiration there. And even if it's Inland Seafood, they had some pâtés that different, very artisan, exotic kind of products as well. So wasn't only seafood and wine. It was such a bigger picture. And like Robin says, go there to be inspired. I mean, you can see some chef. We ran into some chef from the companies that were actually presenting on the behalf of Inland some of their products. And these chefs have been in the business 30 years. And you can go to actually their factories, whether they're in Michigan or different states, and they will sit down with you and educate you about their product and show you some winning dishes that could be on your menu in no time, right?
Exactly. And it also gives you the ability then to rethink about your menu from a cost perspective, because they can show you how to take perhaps a very flavorful cut of meat or type of seafood and substitute that into a recipe. And it gets you back to that, how do you make the most money in the restaurant business? So maybe that protein size can go down because it packs a better flavor, or it's processed in a different way and it makes it a little bit more special and different. So it helps you from all sides of the business, from the operations side, from the business side, and also the creativity and inspiration. That's probably the number one reason to go.
Absolutely. And one big reason, too, because we know restaurant business is a penny business, is a lot of time you have show specials. And you can take advantage of that. And pricing, sometimes you have good pricing on certain items. And you can look at different, the fact you're tasting a lot of, we're in a world where fresh and farm to table and everything. But some things you just can't have fresh. You have to be frozen. And frozen has come a long way. There's a lot of dish that you may not have a chef on staff. You cannot afford to have a chef on staff. But some of these finer dishes that came frozen from a lot of the suppliers are very, very good. And I dare you to tell me that it was a frozen product when it hits your plate.
Okay, so we've been talking about seafood in particular. And so I want to talk about a few seafood restaurants that we have for sale. Because, Eric, we have something that's on the Georgia coast that has amazing water views. 18,000 square foot seafood restaurant along deep water with direct access to the waterway. So you can keep it exactly as it is. It's a 1.1 acre tract, includes the real estate. Very rare in the restaurant business to find wonderful real estate included. And that means what? Lending right away. It's $950,000. Great opportunity if you want to jump in and be someone who attends that show every year, gets inspired, and brings back great opportunities to your new seafood restaurant for sale.
I mean, beautiful decks, 28 years in business. I mean, this is a winner for somebody that is looking to retire on the coast or to do something different with beautiful views. This is Southern lifestyle at its best.
And that's not all. We also have a wonderful seafood crab house type restaurant in Jacksonville, Florida. So we talked about $950,000 with the real estate and the views. Your budget's a little different. This one's $35,000 for a small restaurant, 1,500 square feet, and very small rent. So this is great for someone who wants to start up in the business.
Yeah, this is a great startup. This is something that's really fun. You want to get started, of your dreams to have a 1, 2, 3 people, little seafood shack with cold beer and wine. That is the one for you. And you don't have to go all the way down to the Caribbean. You can do it right here in Jacksonville, Florida. $35,000.
And that's Central Florida. But, we cover the entire Florida from the Panhandle all the way down to the Keys. So we've got something in South Florida, Boca Raton. You can just rent the space. And we often don't talk about just going in and renting restaurant space for sale, for lease. But that is a piece of our business as well. So second generation space like this, it's already equipped. It's got everything you need, a grease trap, hood, all those elements to go in. So no key money. That means you turn the door for nothing. You're just going to pay the rent every month. Love that idea.
Absolutely. Just have your budget to operate, and you can be in business. You can have a nice 1,500 square foot restaurant with all expenses in. Your rent will be about less than $3,700 per month.
Unbelievable. So many ways to get into this business that we are obviously passionate about, which is why we have shared a wonderful show that takes place in Atlanta with you today. Remember, We Sell Restaurant operates the largest restaurant brokerage firm in the nation based on the number of listings, transaction count, and volume. We are franchising nationwide and have offices in Florida, Georgia, Colorado, Tennessee, South Carolina, and Georgia. Join us next week for more information.